You will drown in eternal night.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel and to another Mortal Kombat mobile character review. Today we are taking a closer look at Heavy Weapons Jax Briggs. The man with the metal arms, the man who can waste 5 cigars in just one match. Let's go! Heavy Weapons Jax Briggs is part of the Spec Ops class and his passive is called Heavy Weapons. Plus 30% toughness for all Spec Ops teammates. Law Blast's Special 2 attack deals damage to the entire enemy team and breaks shields. Heavy Weapons Jax Briggs started his journey in the MKX mobile days and was introduced with update 1.3. He was always a challenge card. He was maxed out at level 50 and Fusion 7, and his passive always has been the same. After unlocking him from the challenge, he was available for 345 souls in the old store. He is available in the challenge pack, but also in several other packs, and can also drop as a potential Faction Wars reward at season's end. In the new store, his price is 450 souls. After the level cap was raised with update 1.18, he was maxed out with level 60 and Fusion X. Jax's gear piece is the cybernetic arm, and it gives you 45% toughness boost, 30% chance to reflect 100% special attack damage when blocking, which is for Jax Briggs characters only, and 25% chance to reflect 100% basic attack damage when blocking. In terms of his Feats of Strength, he will have to knock out 25 Spec Ops characters to unlock his rune. For his victory stances, he will have to win 750 matches in Faction Wars. For his taunts, he has to win 500 matches in Battle Mode. For his icons, he has to win 200 matches in Challenge Mode. For his backgrounds, he has to perform 3000 combo enders. And for his titles, he has to knock out 500 Kano enemies. And now we are going back to take a look at the victory stances one by one, starting with Malice. Next up we have Gun Show. Third would be It's On. And exclusive for Heavy Weapons Jax only, Have a Cigar. And on your victory screen, it will look like this. Now I'm going to show you all of his backgrounds. Next up we have the icons. And finally the titles. Heavy Weapons Jax Briggs has two kinds of combo enders. The first one is a double punch, following by a kick, a shoulder tackle and an elbow attack, knocking the opponent a little bit back, making it ideal for follow-up attacks. The second one consists of 3 punches leading into the usage of a machine gun. This one also knocks the opponent back, making it still very great for follow-up attacks. His special one is called Gotcha Beatdown, and it is an unblockable attack. Jax grabs the opponent, gives him 2 punches, and then you play the minigame for the final punch. Unfortunately, this attack deals very little damage, but at least it is capable of knocking out your opponent. The best way to use this attack is once the opponent has a shield up, such as the Revenant or the Bone Shield. Since this combination takes a little bit longer, usually the last punch will knock out the opponent. His special attack too is called the Law Blast, and it deals a high amount of damage, not only to the active opponent, but also to the entire enemy team. On top, this attack is also capable of knocking out your opponent. His X-Ray is called Bring It, and it has a power generation buff tied to it. It deals some solid damage, is nice to look at, and it is completely identical with all Jax variations who are gold and diamond so far in this game. As already mentioned, the special 2 attack Law Blast deals damage to the entire opponent team, and given the high amount of damage that it deals, you have very easy play with your opponents afterwards. Now it's time to recommend some gear again, and my first choice would be the Wrathhammer 20% attack boost. That sounds like something Jax could absolutely use. On top, it will also grant him a bar of starting power, which means that you can get to your special 2 very fast. And since Jax also shines a lot with his combo enders, the Rusty Chainsaw would be another variation that you could go for. It will not only give you unblockable chance on basic attacks, but it will also cut the power cost of special 2s in half, which means that you can use your special 2 more often. As a third recommendation, I would go for his personal gear piece, the Cybernetic Arm. The chance to reflect back special attacks is great, also reflecting back some basic attack damage is always welcome, and the toughness boost sometimes can be really essential for a character like Jax. If you choose to go for a non-block breaking weapon, then just balance that out with the Vial of Infinite Blood to still get the block breaker, for example if you use the Wrathhammer or the Devastator in combination with it. On top, it will also give you a chance to cause bleed on combo enders. But the winner in my book is Shang Tsung Stone. Once you deal damage to the entire opponent team and are lucky enough to knock an opponent out, this one will take off additional extra health from all of your opponents, which in a way kind of doubles your passive. In terms of character recommendations, I would go first with Balance Kenshi to get an extra bar of power at match begin. If you combine that with the Wrathhammer, Bloody Tomahawk, Wily Young Scepter, or any other gear piece that might be added in the future that grants a bar of power, you will directly start with a special 2. And if you then go a step further and add Demolition Sonya Blades to the mix, you will get an additional 30% attack boost, which is another 1.5 Wrathhammers on top in terms of damage. But you can also boost your toughness just by using Classic Sonya Blade, for example. The fun thing here is that she can also deal damage to the entire opponent team with her special one, so you would have 2 characters with this ability constantly draining the health of the entire opponent team. Speaking of health, A-list Johnny Cage can provide that for your team with an additional 30% health for Spec Ops teammates. But the clear winner in my book is once again Covert Ops Cassie Cage, who delivers a passive that enables your entire Spec Ops team to have unblockable attacks, going by basics and special attacks at the same time. Given how old this card is, as I said, he was added with update 1.3, it is actually surprising how good Heavy Weapons Jax still fares in the greater scheme of things. His damage output, at least in terms of his Special 2 attack, is absolutely solid. And the chaining of his basic attacks is one of his biggest strengths. Meaning that Jax Briggs can sometimes take out entire teams just by himself. Just a few combo enders always leading into a Special 2, and at the end, basically the opponent rarely was able to touch you, making matches very short, and therefore a lot of fun to play in faction wars if you are really looking for boosting your leaderboard rankings, for example, to gain more rewards at the end of the season. But now it's time for the pros and cons again, and my first pro is the great chaining of his basic attacks. If you get the timing right, you basically could do this forever. The second pro is the high damage output of his Special 2, especially also dealing damage to the entire opponent team. In combination, for example, with Shang Tsung Stone, this is absolutely gold. The third pro is that his special attack 2 can also break shields, such as Cold War Sonya Blade's Ice Shield, but also shields like the one provided by Circle of Shadow Kung Lao. But there are also a few flaws. The Special 1 attack, for example, with its low damage output, is really embarrassing and basically just there to really use it once the opponent has a Bone Shield or Revenant up, just to buy some time. Since this attack is unblockable, you can use it for stuff like that, but really to deal damage, this one is not the right way to go. Also, his stats are a little bit outdated by now, and they could really use a little boost. And even though you can achieve that with the usage of gear, it would still be nice to just have that on board already, so just to keep him more like on the level of newer challenge cards. My third and final con, and that one is basically the same that I mentioned with Classic Sonya Blade in one of my last reviews, is the Ice Shield thing. Because Cold War Sonya Blade no longer provides a solid Ice Shield for all teammates, and rather just provides that for Cold War team members, making the shield break passive of Jax Briggs also kind of a little bit obsolete, since for other characters the shield already breaks after 6 seconds, so there is not really point in using that. But on the other hand, he has the good solid damage output on the Special 2, something that Classic Sonya Blade didn't have, which makes Heavy Weapons Jax Briggs obviously the much superior card. Also in terms of gameplay, he's much more fun than Sonya's counterpart. But that leads us now directly into the rating, and for Heavy Weapons Jax Briggs, I have no problems pulling out an 8 out of 10 for this pretty good challenge card. Each time I'm playing Heavy Weapons Jax Briggs, I am having a law blast with this card. But yeah, that was Heavy Weapons Jax Briggs in a nutshell for you guys, and I hope that you enjoyed this little review about one of the older challenge cards that we have currently in the game, which still holds up to this day. Please feel free to leave your thoughts on Heavy Weapons Jax Briggs in the comment section of this video and let me know how you like him. Thank you for tuning in once again, and as usual, I will be back with the next video very soon. Until then, you can choose one of the 2 videos that are up here right now. Please like, comment and subscribe. And also don't forget to click the bell notification icon so you will be informed every time when I upload a new video. Take care, Casey over and out for today.